Welcome to Stevie's World UK. Today I'm at Longleat Estate in Wiltshire. So today, Longleat's evening hot air balloon launch is part of my world. So I'm at Longleat for Icons of the Sky 2024. Shortly I'll be heading over to the main display area to see the evening hot air balloon launch. But first I'm going to check in on this little family. This particular family are the Kurt's Dicks, mum, dad, and on the bottom left hand side is the new addition, baby Maple, who was born earlier on this summer at Longleat. How adorable are they? On a side note, Longleat opened its doors 75 years ago this very year to the public, and this is the house that started it all, complete with majestic bronze lion statue. Plenty of modern refreshments available though, with mac and cheese, coffee and donuts, or you can even participate in a cheeky beer. And that is just a small selection of them. There are plenty more around the corner.
It's like playing a game of Sonic the Hedgehog, but on a real scale and a real level. All balloons are still around as well. These days you tend to use helium gas instead of hydrogen gas. It's much cheaper, gives you more lift.
And just to get you in the mood for the evening, this is the Jammer the Samba Band, the evening entertainment. Guided by the Longleat Safari Jeep, the hot air balloons are making their way into the main arena, ready for the launch. And behind, a further selection of refreshments that Longleat's Icons of the Sky has to offer. After confirmation from the weather authorities, the green smoke signals that the balloons are good to ascend for this evening. So sit back, relax and take in all the sights, the sounds and the atmosphere of this year's evening hot air balloon launch for Icons of the Sky here at Longleat for 2024.
And then heat up the balloon until he gets to the point where the balloon is ready to fly. And then ask the crew to release the balloon, then take their hands off. And go over there listening to me. There you go, jump away. So you get the balloon standing upright, you see the crew all rushing in. See how to do it. So every time the balloons take off, we want to hear a big cheer. Now if we can, if the balloons can fly over the top of it, we'll see. So that you can see the water fluid. And it flows over the ship, also trying to catch exactly the right wind speed and direction to speed. Here we go, here goes Slither. There's our first special shape away. Huge cheer. Yeah, Crater's gone as well. We've got two flying together. Now, people ask sometimes what happens when you bump into each other. There's nothing. They bounce off each other. It's like having a big bunch of toy helium balloons. As long as the fabric and material meet together, they can bounce off each other as much as they like. Only if the basket, the hard lumpy bit at the bottom, gets in the air to stop to ensure that the airspace is stopped and it's clear before they can take off. And before they fly. Now we have two-way radios on board. They can talk to each other. I think that's Gary. Here he goes away. And again you'll see they climb out beautifully, stably, very calm. For a balloonist, these sort of conditions are absolutely perfect because we have a defined direction to the wind. And what they do is they have an ordnance survey map. And they know what's downwind, they can predict if they're going in a certain direction because there might be an obstacle there, such as airspace, or an airport, or a military zone that we can't fly towards, or most importantly, the team. Because it's fine to fly on that, the pilot choose the field. Make sure it's big enough for the balloon to land in. Make sure there are no obstacles such as trees, buildings, power lines. And make an approach into the field. And depending upon the speed of the wind at the time, that's actually kind of fun. It's like being in a giant tumble dryer. And it's the skill of the pilot, their experience to make sure that they know the suitable speed to get their balloon inflated. They're following on the road in the vehicle. They have the same map and they're talking to the pilot, two-way radio to speak to them. And also sometimes we don't fly if the ground's too wet, because obviously you don't want to churn up the farmer's field and particularly forward drive vehicles in and out of the trailer can be quite tricky. So if you get involved with the balloon team, the very first thing you do is learn to retrieve. You also learn skills about how to tow and how to reverse trailer. So now we have some more brake pilots taking off. This is one of our lightweight balloons, called a concept balloon, the blue and yellow one in the middle. And you'll notice the basket there is made of wood. That one's actually made out of fabric. The frame structure inside is made out of aluminium, but then it has fabric rather than actually into a trailer. The bigger the balloon, the more weight you can carry, the bigger the basket. The large passenger balloons which carry up to 30 passengers, 40 passengers are enormous compared to the ones you're seeing here today. The average size of these balloons is between 77 and older balloons that were built by Lindstrand balloons, that's Per Lindstrand, the balloon builder and designer who flew across the Atlantic and the Pacific and tried to go around the world with Richard France. We were a very short-lived company back in the 1990s. We built a few balloons, built some for me as well, and one or two of those are still around and still exist. So that purple balloon, so you'll see them all around the same sort of size. Well, there's quite a few animal balloons here this weekend. You've seen Slither the snake taking off. We've got Dolly the sheep, who's also inflated, getting ready to go. And we have the macaw balloon at the far end of the field. And I believe there's some other ones lurking around. In the background over there, I can see we have...
Yeah, in that red balloon, they're inside there.
Now the purple Kumchek balloon is actually, if you look at it, a little bit shinier than some of the other balloons. The reason for that is they use slightly different fabric. The average flight time is about an hour, but we make sure that we carry more than enough fuel. We normally carry up to 3 hours of fuel on board, because it might take some time to find the right landing site. So if you've flown for an hour, you need to make sure that you have sufficient fuel on board. So one of our new balloons, the passenger champagne balloon, coming over the top, the black and white one, flown by Dolly. Pete's one of the longest standing and even longer lying down pilots in the commercial world. If anyone saw the Red Bull stunts where they had the guy doing BMX bike stunts at 5,000 feet over Bristol, he was being flown under a 750,000 President Cameron Arena over the weekend. Anyone who was here and saw that earlier today, we had some of the classic special shapes out to display for you. We saw the old Action Man balloon, we saw Sonic the Hedgehog, the Michelin Vivendum. So those balloons no longer fly, so obviously tonight we're going to be seeing mostly the round ones. You need to capture to get those images because this is absolutely... So how do you become a balloon pilot? People always ask that. Ground crew. Because you need to learn about the balloon, learn about the systems, learn how they go together, and that's the most effective way of learning how the whole thing works. And then if you attach yourself to a local pilot in your area, it means that every time they want to go flying, it's great to be able to go out with them and help them get the balloon out, go and do the retrieve with them. and experience how the whole thing will start your training program. Now, the minimum requirement here in the UK is you need to do 16 hours under instruction, which may not sound like a lot, but takes actually quite a long time when you bear in mind that the average flight time is only an hour. And you're in England, and of course the weather can sometimes be less than perfect. You go for a flight with an examiner to test your flying abilities. If you believe that you are qualified and good enough, he then allows you to do a solo flight. You'll also do a series of ground exams in air law, and once you've got enough hours, and if you really feel the urge to do so, if you want to be commercial, you can then go for another set of exams, which are much harder, and another series of flight tests, and you can start flying larger passenger carrying balloons here to entertain you as you go for enjoyable fun flights this weekend. At the far end of the field, I can see one of our bulldogs inflating. I think that's Buster. We have a pair of boyfriend-girlfriend bulldogs here this weekend. We have Buster and Bella, who were flying this morning. Really cute. So we have now another series of balloons flying from the other side of the lake. Again, they're making sure that none of the balloons below are climbing up like water over the landscape. And at that particular altitude, where that balloon is, that is the way the wind is blowing. If he was to climb, he would get into the same wind direction and speed as the balloons above, which seem to have slowed down considerably. Notice they're not going away as fast as they were originally. And that shows that this sustainment later on this evening got sharp. Don't get sky full of colour. Give our pilots a big wave as they go. As I said, they can hear you up there. Oh, it looks like we might end up with a balloon crash. I think it's what you call a near miss. Skill of the pilot below to make sure that he doesn't climb too fast. Make sure that he waits until the hot wheel balloon is clear, and then he can climb away. Now you'll see as he climbs up over the top of the other ones. If you're flying with the water, we like to try and drop the basket just onto the surface of the water. We call it a flat. So we still have some balloons inflating. Obviously, with the number of balloons that we have here tonight, the field isn't quite big enough to be able to get everyone up at the same time. So they'll do it in shifts. Basically, once the space and the balloons are flown away, then but it means then that you get more to see through the evening as we go on. You can see our macaw balloon. Balloon pilots can use them to climb and descend much faster. The only time that you actually feel any wind on your face or on your hand is if the balloon is descending, climbing. I was hoping we were going to get one of our cloud hopper balloons. They're like Formula 1 cars. They do climb and they do descend much faster. But the other side of that is when you come into landing, there isn't a bus. You can see one of our pilots from the other side of the lake. Very small basket, just 2 people on board.
taking off and climbing quite quickly over there in the Russell True balloon. One of our new young pilots, Dolly. And there we can see Buster the Bulldog turning around beautifully in the sunshine to give us a great big slobbery kiss. So do our pilots a great big wave and a big cheer, and they go. Brave ones. And the McCaw's actually waving his little toes at you as he goes. That they keep enough heat in there, because once we let them get too cold, because they're heavier, they can drop out of the sky a little bit faster than normal. Quite often if you see what looks to be like a really weird special shape, and if you look closer you'll notice the bulldog or the macaw is just a small extension that sticks out from the standard shape balloon. But the orange balloon that you're going to see inflating a little later on is a little different to that, because it is actually what we call the true special shape. You have to be absolutely confirmed and dedicated to that's the landing site that you're going to use. And again, that requires a lot of flying hours and experience to know how to fly them.
Second launch, straight up, in a controlled way. There's our no-roof inflatable balloon away, rather fast. You've seen rock and rolling. It's Doug Hodgman. Also sometimes make it climb very fast because they want to get to a different direction of wind speed and altitude. So in which case they will on fabric. The polyurethane coating on the fabric eventually wears away and the fabric becomes porous, so it's a little bit like back in 1963, which was called the Bristol Bell, which was just a plain red and white striped balloon. And spinning away. Depending on the wind speed, it's much easier to actually land them in smaller spaces. So if he sees a good field, he'll So our fresh air balloon is away. We're just now waiting on the big orange special shape. Hopefully that one will be flying this evening. I think it probably will.
Look, I see it here. Look, it's here. There's his body.
Well, sadly, it looks like our orange balloon is not going to be flying this evening because it looks like they're deflating it. That's quite possibly that the pilot has found there might be a technical problem with the balloon, and obviously in terms of safety. Ah, we have another special shape going. Here's an exciting one for you, ladies and gentlemen. We are being invaded. This is our alien destroyer from the film Independence Day. This is being flown by a pilot all the way from Switzerland. This is Thomas Gleicher. The balloon was originally built for the launch of Independence Day on DVD in the UK, and then after it had served its purpose was sold on and ended up in Switzerland, and Thomas is flying it. And no, he's not on fire, that's actually a smoke machine on board. So he's on his way to go and destroy Warminster, or Frome. And they fly that with alien masks on, which obviously is going to scare the hell out of people when they land. Longleat cheer, but let me count you down. I'm hoping that Thomas will actually be able to hear that, and we'll find out afterwards. So, the biggest Longleat cheer possible. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, yay! What a superb view.
That's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on great future content from Steve's World UK. Until next time, be safe, be good, be kind and be careful. It takes 24 hours for the world to turn once, but only 2 seconds to like or subscribe to see great future content from Steve's World UK.